本当にザシャに勝てるようにエメラルド3でハードスタックしてるんですけど、日本サーバーレベル高すぎるか。嘘、了解です。オリアナさんです。
Mr. Shah, and they go for the Orianna pickup here since Azir is banned by their side. This has been premier pickup of the tournament, so no real surprise here. Weibo, though, are going to jump on that.
アフェリオスの代わり何が来るんですか？スレッシュ、タムケンチ。
This pick has been very powerful. It's shown a lot of potential specifically against dive. And with Dokla talking about not wanting to be on Ornn duty, I'm curious what sort of aggressive options Energy are going to be going for as we work our way through the first pick of Felios for light on the side of Weibo.
We talk about the adaptation from NRG. This is an adaptation from Weibo. When we look back to the series against Fnatic, it was that Felios became such a big factor in that, trying to trade that back and forth, saying, hey, once I is off the board,
予選ではジャングルもサポートも両方あったけど、本戦だとどうなるのか。
It feels like Weibo are kind of falling back towards what worked for them against Fnatic, and now we'll have to see if we do get that Senator Kench as an answer to the Aphelios.
セナ？セナ出てくるんですな。セナタムケンチ、おお、ここに来て。カイサはどこ行ったんだ？トップでは出てないと思うんですけど、トップで出せる性能はしてません。マオカイ君、あまりにもレーンが弱すぎる。
Let's see if Weibo does want to lock in their mid laner here. This Nico was hovered a little bit earlier. If they don't lock in a mid lane pick, there could be more bans targeted towards Xiaohu in the second half of the draft. The timer runs out.
サポートでも出てないんじゃないかな。DFM がセナマオカイやってた気がしたけど、それ以降出てないと思います。そして、OP チャンピオン2頭取っていく。
Very curious to see here if Weiwei actually ends up holding on to the Rel or if they swap it to bottom.
Yeah, I think it will probably be the Rel going towards Weiwei, but I do agree. I think this is kind of the better pick for Xiaohu. It's like when you think of Xiaohu at his best in the mid lane, it's hey, I'm going to try and control the pace of my lane and then start to lean into hovering towards top, hovering towards bot. He has some fantastic
16まで行った DFM さん、どこ行ってしまったのか。
traditional style, and I think this is where we're going to see how they can try and play through that strong mid jungle, especially with Orianna on the opposite side. It's not exactly a pick that screams we want to dominate in that mid jungle as a 2v2.
And the Nico is why
Energy are banning away this Nocturne because they're
やっぱり
covering
このチャンピオ
for
ン
if the Rel
評
does
価
go
高い
over
で
to
すな。
support, you don't want to have to play against a
リワー
Nocturne
クされて
ultimate
から
turn
かな
out
り
the
評価が
lights
高い。
and then Nico basically guaranteed double engage for
ノクターンバーン。
the side of Weibo.
Exactly, and over on the other side, it's the Vi being banned away. Remember that in the game against G2, where we got to see Palafox on the Nico, Contracts on the Vi, it was these two with a 1-2 punch that were constantly driving plays. They want to keep Contracts off of that one. The Gnar banned away from the Shy here.
And the Gnar is what he played into the Cassante pick, so I was thinking that was a Cassante kind of
カサンテに対してはジャックスとかグエンがよくピックされてますけれども。
early here for the shot.
I am really curious though what we get for contracts, especially when you look at like Vi off the table, things like the Maokai gone. Maybe it is just a fallback to things like the Sejuani, try and play for this like non-engage. But I was gonna say I think Wukong would fit beautifully here. You set up them for super strong team fights. He gets the healing coming through off of things like the Senna, the Orianna, ult is set up as well. I think that would work out fantastically, but maybe it's not gonna be the Wukong.
Let's see. The clock has run out. What is the lock-in from the side of Energy? This is really lingering for an extra second.
Energy definitely at their best when Contracts is on a champion capable of making a lot of early plays. And so I actually kind of like this Viego pick. It is a champion that can fight Rift Trailed really effectively. Is very good duelist champion. And we'll see if that's going to be enough for their early game here. Because Weibo, they lock it in again. Another ranged champion for Crisp in the bottom lane. That is now 6 in a row.
これカサンテがレネクトに後出しされるっていう関係だったと思うんですけど、カサンテにレネクトを後出ししましたよ。
Powerful in lane with Aphelios. The amount of range you can get when Aphelios has Calibrum and he's enchanted by the extra range that Milio can offer can turn Aphelios' laning.
どうなんですかね。僕も途中 見ることができていなかったので、ワニさんが勝率取り戻せる要素はあったかな。何年か前のワールズだとチャンピオンキックされた後にキック率と勝率とか出てくれてたりしたんですけど、今回はないみたいですね。出てきません。
They can both either use that on each other when Weiwei's going to gain their lane, or later stages, they can use it on Xiaohu to make it easier for this Nico to really get to the back line and get those perfect Nico ultimates. You know, so much mobility here.
やっぱり使うのに技術が必要ということですか。ワイルドカードチームだとワニのポテンシャルを発揮するのが簡単ではないということですか。
last remaining team from North America that they did when they faced them back in the Swiss stage.
NA
wait as we're about to hit the rift.
欧米の星
It's going to be an absolute banger. I'm so excited for this series.
G2 ももう負けてしまった。欧米地域で登っているのはここだけですよ。NRG ミッドのパラフォックスさんはシャオフーに天才と言われております。期待しましょう。MA のミッドは天才。
All right, let's get to it. We're on the rift. This is gonna be a good one. I just know it. A reminder to everybody out there as we're waiting to get everything going.
今回ニーコがピックされたけど、またキャノンミニオンに化けてタワータンクするやつ出てくるかな。皆さん見ましたか？キャックスがやってたんですけど、キャノンミニオンに変身してタワーのターゲットを6回ぐらいタンクしてたんですよ。レベル3ぐらいで。
For NRG's side, again, they have had doubters all over them, every step of the way, every bit of their journey here, and yet they have been able to overcome them. And the entire team is already so dramatic because this team has really given that hope back to the hopeless. It has given the faithful more pride as well. And now, with their most formidable opponent before them, a Weibo team that has two world champions, and Xiaohu has
なんか
three
固定
MSI
な
titles
のかな。
on two different roles, might I
多
add,
分
is definitely a very, very scary matchup here.
タワー何回食らったらキャノンミニオンがやられてしまうっていうのが多分固定で決まってて、キャノンミニオンに変身するとニーコがその性能を引き継いでたくさんタンクできるのかなということだと思います。ライオットがこれバグだから使わないでねってそういうリストに書いて発表してるらしいです。ニーコのキャノンミニオンのタワータンクは。なのでキャップスさんはバグを乱用したと言っても過言ではない。キャップスライオットがバグだから使わないでねって言ったやつをランク戦とかランク関係なくか使うとアカウント永久バーンされる恐れがあります。ナイスラッシュ、うまいタムケンチ。敵のガンクをセナのフラッシュ一つでかわしました。野草バグあったんですか？なんか僕ちょっと野草については詳しくないんですけれども、
maybe should have been a bit more aware of it since it was exactly the play we saw in their first game.
オリアナは体力を犠牲に CS 勝ってます。
Yep, needs to stack that up, wants to be able to have an empowered spell here for this. Hits level 4, Golden Beak already used here. Contracts coming around now with a hero path. Flash, stun, follow up coming in from Contract. Shy, trying to get back, he goes unstoppable. They wanted to save a little bit of extra damage, they go back.
高橋二世さん、どうです？この前、お絵かきして、お絵かきに来ていただいて、ありがとうございます。これがリーグオブレジェンズです。世界大会を今見てまして、ピン止めしてある URL から見てますね。トップレーンでガンクしたんですけど、カサンテとジャングルのディエゴ11トレードです。一時トレードだし、カサンテがクルウェーブなので、これ れ全然ワースじゃないですよ。トップレーンかなり苦しいです。これいや、レネクトン体力がこれソロキル全然あるぞ。何かあればソロキルのチャンスがあります。とても怖い。ワニさんビビってます。フラッシュないですからね。カサンテはフラッシュ残してますから。いや、ミッドレー CS は勝ってますよ、オリアナが。ワニさん、悲しいウェーブで涙流しながらリコールしてテレポートで戻ります。
Yeah, and we did also get to see for a second there the state of the minions as bottom lane is trading here. The state of the minions, it looks like the Shy had
セナタムケンチのいいところはレーンの維持力ですか。2人とも回復持ってるからずっとレーンに居座れるし。敵から逃げるスキル多いから、どこチャンピオンのセナもタムケンチのウルトで守ってもらえば死ぬことないですからね。連戦が安定するでしょう。これカサンテにやれるか。レネクトンレベル6になってガンクできるかこれ。いやー無理だと思うけど無理ですこれ。トップレーンのカサンテがすごい有利だと思います。カサンテがすごい有利。ミッドレーンいい軍ですか。でもミッドレーン序盤強いニーコがオリアナとトントンだからオリアナ側が結構順調なんじゃないでしょうか。オリアナさんレートゲーム強いですよ。これはレネクトン側のウェーブが嬉しいですね。嬉しいですけどうまくウェーブ調整してリコールしないといけない。レネクトン今リコールですね。帰らないとリコールタイミングなくなっちゃうのでまあちょうどいいウェーブでしょう。これは素晴らしいウェーブの調整。
Not well aware enough. Contracts does clear out the ward, but they don't know Xiaohu's lines here still.
Yeah, Xiaohu coming around from the side. Prop blossom. He
goes
for the flash. Engage. Now they're gonna finally take out Contracts. Xiaohu set the trap, but he gets the payoff. But can Weiwei get away?
リーコのフラッシュがなくなった。これとどめさせたいオリアナが。これチート折れますね。ナイス。よしよし。
But they're too far behind to find anything else. End of the day, it's an even trade, 1 for 1.
And Weibo do end up walking away with the red buff, but because the mid laner is the change for the jungler here, Palfox gets a shove out mid lane. It looks like it might turn into a dragon as well.
これ断食セナはキャノンの CS だけ取るのかな。多分キャノンの CS だけセナが食べて、キャノンはラストヒットをセナが取っても必ず魂は出るので、そういう理由でセナがラストヒット取れる。キャノンだけは取れると。他のミニオン、前衛ミニオン、後衛ミニオンはセナがラストヒットを取ると魂が出る確率が下がるので、そこは代わりにタムケンチが食べると。
This is going to be critical. We'll have to track that flash that he burned to get onto contracts. They knew that he did not have his to answer, and it is going to be the kill answered over, but we'll see if the punishment for the is going to actually gain them anything. In the aftermath, of course, the red buff is forced the dragon.
And you can see back in live, it panned over to mid. There was another attempted play coming out from Weiwei in the mid lane, but now Contracts back up top.
いや、カサンテに対するガンク
Contracts is putting a lot of focus
キルしきるところまではなかなか難しい。1対1ゲーム強いですよ。1対1レルよりもずっと強いですよ。
Well, we've got Weiwei and Xiao who both
トップワニさんをキックした意味、そしてジャングルのプレッシャーで CS かなり勝ってます。レルのフラッシュ、ディエゴもフラッシュない。まずい。
That was so close to NRG falling.
違い
Used
ゼ
the
ロ。
flash because he knows the Xiao who can't try and follow, but he went for that initial fight when you had no control of the mid lane, and Weibo were nearly able to punish.
Oh, both junglers now with no flashes in the aftermath because Weiwei also had to flash away from Contract's ultimate there. You can feel the tension rising here in just the
カ
first
サンテ
game
は
of
敵
the
のジャングルのプレッ
quarterfinals.
シャーでいろいろなものを失ってます。
We're getting a lot of action from both sides. This is the first 10 minutes
でも
of
そ
the
の
game.
代わりアフェリオスがプレート2枚食べまして、
Oriana and a Senna, and I was like,
これは
yeah,
大きい。
we're gonna take it easy, nice and breezy, no problems at all. But these teams are going ham, and a huge amount of that is Contracts, who's been trying desperately to get the control that he wants over this mid, over the top side.
ディエゴはヘラルド触ります。トップレーン有利取れてますからね。
That ward in the back though, so Weibo
そしてウルトを覚えてるレネクトン君はとても強いチャンピオンなので、
They have the
1
information.
回目のヘラルドレネクトンがいる側が取りたいです、ぜひとも。
Instead, it's going to be secured, and now Weiwei's stuck in the pit. He has to crash down over the wall to escape, but Dokla's ready to follow him. May have been a
お
bit of an
レ
error
ルフラッシュないぞ。
outside of energy, but
レルフラッシュないけどかなり耐えられてる。
Palafox goes
なんで
in.
こんな硬いんですかこのチャンピオン。
Dokla's on pursuit. Palafox won't grab the
ワニ
kill.
さん連れてかれた。
Palafox is finally going to get it now. Dokla over the wall.
連れてかれたけど
NRG
カサンテ死亡。
The North American topside takes the Herald. They take the kills and they can shove it right in afterwards.
NRG
They're gonna push on
勝てるの
both
かこれ。
sides. They could get a ton of turret plates there.
Ignar needs to be careful, going to be able to back away, but that was just disrespectful.
ザシャイナやられ
Going in
た。
over the wall. Hasn't got a
カープレ
flash,
ルも
has
取
a
られ
dream
る。
and a prayer to get back out, and
カサンテ
NRG
テレポートもない。
shut that down immediately.
ウェブ全部焼けます。
Huge difference here. Contract, such a playmaker. This
じゃあ
Viego
でも
so
アフェリオス
good
が
at
プ
fighting
レート
the
3
Rip
枚
Trail,
目。
and man, Palafox
これ
rotating
NRG 優
every
勝ある
single
か。
time right over. Dokla
中国を格付けしてますよ。
as we said, had gone back to base, and so Weiwei is hoping for
で
a
も
little
これ
bit of a steal here,
BO5 なので1戦目はまだまだわからない。
They were trading back and forth so frequently. It was so close on both
こ
sides.
の負けた後の修正力も強いチームの条件ですから。
And the assist for the Oriana, the Dark Seal already picked up. Palafox is getting geared up to take over this game as the Oriana, and the quicker you accelerate towards those two items,
セナの
the
魂
more of an
56
impact you're going to have. And
すごいな。
especially in these upcoming fights, it feels like NRG are setting themselves up well.
And so much has been said about that duo.
これがプロのセナか。
Actually coming from the
こんなに
same
スタッ
city
カー集まったら
in
それは
California.
強いでしょう
It's
な。
Redwood City, and them, their synergy really pairs well with the champions they've chosen in and out of game. The Oriana is such a good facilitator for the Viego, with Contracts rushing the Trinity Force build here. Really going to be very, very powerful combination if they can pull it off.
So my eyes right now are on two things. Number one, Dragon Timer in the top right corner under 30
セ
seconds.
ナは
Number
ス
two,
トームレイザ
Xiao
ー
who's
か
got
な。
that flash ready to go on the Nico yet again. Big
アフェリオスはストームレイザーできてます。カルも完成してる。
You can see the Radiant Virtue also purchased up for Weiwei.
アフェリオスすごい育ってますよこれ。
And that's what I was going to say. I think
大
actually
丈
you
夫か。
need to hold on for a second here as NRG.
それが不安要素ではある。でも他のレーンはとても順調。トップもミッドも順調です。
Just the damage that you have from Light completing that first item and the Radiant Virtue, you may need to chill since you can't really get Dokla into this fight. I don't think so with the Shy being able to interrupt if he tries to TP.
A little bit of trading here from FBI and Ignar.
お魂回収していく。セナプレッシャーありますね。ダメージ出ますよなかなか。
As Dokla up here underneath the tier 1 turret doesn't want to take the aggro immediately because he doesn't want to risk getting Kissante'd underneath the turret.
このプロ騎士が強いんですよ。敵がタワー下でミニョンを処理してる間に敵のミニョンをタワーの向こう側で処理する。
Yeah, this is huge for energy. He's going to be able to complete his mythic after this. They're also going to be able to transfer the bottom lane and
これすることでかなり時間をうまく使えますね。先にリコールもできるし、ミッドにガンクもできるし、敵のジャングルの視界も取れるし、ジャングルを見つけて大ダメージ与えることもできますし、礼を勝っているからこそできますね。プロ騎士。
I think the fact you managed to get that mid priority with the Rift Herald and also bot is huge.
危ない。
FBI sneaks it out. Spots Weiwei. And NRG, they are playing safe on this bottom side.
警戒できております。警戒できてるけど痛いぞこれ。
From Energy's side, this Aphelios is getting farmed. The Storm Rays with a 132 CS count. He is going to be frightening once we get into these bigger fights.
And Light has been so big for Weibo at this tournament. Really, really big carry force. Considering the comp that they're running, he has to be this time around. He's going to be the main DPS.
おお、でもその回復量中だけでもりもり回復します。これだいぶちっちゃいと思うけどな。タムケンチウルトあるし、エグゾーストもあるぞ。だいぶは無理でしょう。で、タワー割れました。悲しいです。
One more plate overall compared to Energy early on, and they want to make sure they're piling up some of this objective gold to try to close that overall economic gap.
But this is where I actually get a bit nervous about the composition we see from NRG.
試合時間映ってるか。
When you look at how you actually try and start fights that are on your
映っ
terms,
てる。
you
ナ
don't
イ
really
ス。
have the best of people.
確認
I
成
think
功。
you can look for picks maybe with contracts and try and see if you can find to play off the vision in jungle, but actually trying to start a 5v5 in your terms is very difficult, which is perfect for a
アイスボーンできました。
composition
カサンってすごい強いですよ。
like this Nico that can immediately jump on top of you when they're ready.
Yep, a lot more guaranteed on the side of Weibo. Plus, Weibo have the counter card in the Milio ultimate as well. So if one of those single target stuns is something that catches you, like Contracts or Dokla, then they can get that person out. We did have a lot of single item completions here now coming through for both sides. So that earlier lead from the earlier completions that Energy had kind of a wash now as all of the key ones are coming in for Weibo. Shahu
セナはサポートアイテムが完了したら CS 普通に食べるのかな。
Could be looking to make a big Nico play, roam up to the rest of the team.
Big story being told here in a MasterCard lane economy snapshot. The overall gold advantage is Energy's, but light on the side of Weibo. This is the X factor. This is the guy that they got to play around. He's got to be the carry like these guys were talking about earlier. Currently having some very ferocious team fighting weapons in the two guns with the purple and the blue. AoE, CC.
タムケンチはサンファイア
Incredibly daunting considering
目指してます。セナはストームレイザーでしょう。
Energy needs to play safe.
やっぱり CS 食べてない分、アフェリオスよりはビルドかなり遅れますよ。
Trying to see if they can get the tangle barbs, but not quite able to do so. And Light has always been someone that you can rely on. In LNG, back with Iwandi, this was a guy that if you gave resources to, he would carry a game. And Weibo, kind of realizing that coming in towards their playoffs and in towards Worlds as well, is like, we want to try and play around bot side, get our AD carry fed, and see if he can just lend us the victory that we're so hoping for.
And even though the camera was not down on bottom side that often in this game, they played how you're supposed to play the double range matchup super well. Play for those turret plates and get that value out of the draft here for them. So really nicely done. Really has turned into a rich light.
Oh boy, Xiaohu has to flash away there. That Spectral Maw hits. You know they're going to follow it up and just immediately burst him down.
Massive window for NRG. No flash on this Nico for a Rift Herald fight is exactly what you want, which is why NRG immediately feel confident to start this up. They take the Nico's health bar flash and they're going to be good to go.
そんなに強いのか。
Looks like Weiwei does not want to let it go. A TP
これはベスト8に残りますわ。
Herald's down low, still has the eyeball opened here. Energy backing away. They know how powerful the AoE engage is.
お互いにトップが TP です。
But instead it's going to be secured by Energy.
ヘラルドもスマイトバトルで勝っていく。
Now backing away as Weibo looks for any opportunity to maybe catch somebody on the back end. The objective goes to Energy.
It was 11 HP. I actually feel for you, Weiwei. I've been there. He tries to Q smite, and he's really close on the calculations, but 11 HP off. Contracts is able to get it. Weibo still get mid tower though.
ヘラルドの代表でミッドレーン割られましたけれども、カーリントップでオリアナが食べてます。タワーを目。
Having that Rift Herald now to break up a mid lane turret is going to make it way easier for NRG to try and play for that pick style we were talking about. Play off of the vision they can establish on this top end and make sure Palafox is always safe when he's trying to push in. Orianna is not a champion.
僕もそうかなと思ったんですけど、静かな有利をずっと取り続けてますよ。これが NA1 位の力か。 G2 は NRG に負けましたね。2-1で負けたのかな。
The Dragons are 1-1 here across the first two, so no early stacking advantage for either side. Also a Chemtech Rift, generally considered lower value in most situations, so it's not going to have the same amount of pressure it would for something like a Hextech or an Infernal.
お互いにミッドレーンを破壊した。
Clearing the waves back in mid, 19 minutes into the game, so Baron's not up yet, but as we move forward a few more minutes into this game, a big team fight win could spell something very calamitous.
Weibo are going to abandon
そして
Dragon. You can see where
ドラゴンを
Cherry
ギブ
was reset super late. So
ドラゴンギブする間に
Zen
トップタワーを破壊してい
maybe on
く。
the top side they'll definitely get one. You can see the reset starting to come through from NRG to try and answer this. But as you just said, Flowers, this is kind of Weibo going right. We don't care about a second Chem Dragon going over. We want to set up that vision for the Baron that's going to come up and see if we can try and
いやこれ
play for
守るの
that
大変だぞ。
5v5 in these choke points around the
守
Baron
れませ
area.
ん。
Yeah, Weibo doing a good job here, just brute
ウルト使っ
forcing
て
this
無理やり
tier 2 turret.
ミニオン
They got
消せ
a
るか。
4-man play in the top side. Dokla's already at half
なんとか
HP.
守れるか。
FBI and Ignar are ready to back him up
オリアナ
now.
がかなり育ってます。
Pushes on the bottom side of the map, taking out the tier 1.
一人で皮全部食べてますからね。
But it's a 4v4 now. Dokla at half HP means Energy's making the call to back off. They don't want to throw the game for this. So Weibo is going to take the big cash prize for the tier 2.
Yeah, it's a smart push by them, trying to get both towers in giving up that kind of low-value dragon you're talking about there, Flowers. Let's see about the chase here for Energy, though. They want
こ
to
れキャッ
interrupt
チ
the
できるのか。
recalls.
果たして加算点のキャッチは難しい。
Use that pathmaker to just walk it off, not even concerned. Breath of life not required.
でき
Weibo
ませ
just
んね。
walk away.
I'm
Diego
curious how
farm
far
してます。
Energy want to chase though. If they can keep Weibo from resetting, maybe they can actually look for something in this jungle bus. I don't know if they want to chase this far. FBI
いやいいですよこのリコールを止める動き素晴らしいですよ。
Looks like those recalls are still going to fire off on Weibo's
ウェイボ
side.
ーはかなり
Contracts jumps in, but unfortunately for
時
him,
間
only
使ってますか
a
ら
clone of the
リコール
Nico
したいですか
down there
ら。
from the bottom lane looking for a reset of his own as Energy have control over the top side river to establish some vision.
And usually you'd
リ
be
コー
like,
ル
okay,
妨害してる
if
間に
Energy
ディエゴ
can
が
try
ファー
and find
ム
these
し
moments
て
where they can push
オ
Weibo
リアナ
back,
も
maybe
ミ
they
ッド
can
プッ
turn
シュ
over towards the Baron, but when you look at
完
this
了です。
composition that Energy has, there's just no real Baron damage. Like, Senna isn't great at taking it. You look towards Orianna, she's going to be very slow. So it means that for NRG,
い
you
や
have
レ
to
ネクト
find
の
the
装
fight,
備
you
も
have to find these picks
す
before
ごい
you
強
turn
い
over
ドラッ
towards
グ
these
クレイバー
objectives.
完成してます。1対1で加算点に負けないぞ。この2つのアイテムなら。
Oh, the attempted shockwave with a flash out
ア
from
フェリオスのフラッシュをオリアナのウルトと交換しました。ナイス。
counterpunch from Weibo. Palafox saw the opportunity for the
そ
pick.
してタムケンチもフラッシュなくなったか。
target, but Light's reaction time was fast enough.
It's still a
いや
valuable
こ
sword
の
though, especially
そ
when
の
you
価
look
値は
towards
大
things
きい。
like Baron and Dragon. If you have that opportunity as Palaflux to play to zone
アフェリオス
away
の
from
フラッ
these
シュ。
teamfights, it's actually going to work out fantastically for you, and it's something that Weibo punished very effectively in their last series. Now NRG have the opportunity to do so as well.
It might be the most important one on the opponent's
い
team.
ややっぱりオリアナなんで買いませんね。
Ignar doesn't have a flash either.
This top catch could be in a whole lot of trouble.
キャリーのフラッシュの方が痛いですけれどもタムケンチさんフラッシュないので捕まっていく。まずい。あドラストポン強すぎ。あいよ
Weibo just got two, and Baron's on the menu.
Yeah, they're gonna go right over and try and bait in Energy.
中国のチームはこういうキャッチが
So he would have to walk around the
すごいうまいんですよ。
This is the turning point. Weibo
一瞬でもチャンスがあればこうやってキャッチしに来るので
to triumph here. Dokla's here on the front line, popping the dominance.
セナが生きてるぞ。セナがフリーギールですよ。
Dokla falling back, stunned from FBI.
すぐに捕まえてきますからね。でもいいですよ。バロンにやめさせました。ナイス。
Energy, fight him off.
FBI needs to be careful though, as long as you can keep them pushed
お
back.
い
You
欲張ってい
can go
く
to the Baron yourself. Energy, they're TPing
セ
in.
ナを
They
か
wanna
わし
just
回
down
収
the
これ
Baron
逆
themselves.
にバロン
They're
始
gonna
め
go
ます
for it. DPS check right now.
相手も気づきましたよ。後で確認しましたけど体力がすごい少ないバロンに殴られてるので相手スティールだけ狙うか。あオリアナのウルトがワニさんがちゃんと止めるんですな。偉いですよ。こういう時慣れたが敵のジャングルを止めに行ってくれるとバロンをスティールされることがなくなるのでチームが安心できます。
They do not fold. Energy stop Weibo's Baron. They poke them off with a 3v5 scenario as we go into the replay.
あーなるほど。
The beginning of why we
なるほ
had
ど。
to fight them off a 3v5 Baron.
I like the idea from NRG to try and find the pick, but without the vision clearing down behind you and not even knowing if you're walking across vision, it gives Weibo this
リコールしてるアフェリオスをフラッシュ内から倒しに行こうということだったんですけど、逆にこれベイトですか、もしかして。あれ計算づくだったらすごいことですよ。
So good for them. Poking around. You used the word annoying before to describe the setup pick, and FBI has been so good.
バロンさん強いんですよ。あれこのパッチってバロンの体力上がったんだっけな。上がる前か。上がる前はバロンの体力1万2000ぐらいで、今は1万6000ぐらいありますから、バロンさん倒すのすごい大変です。頼む逃げてくれ。逃げてくれればレネクトンが寄れる。
to the side. No pincer opportunity here just yet as Weibo retreat back into the mid lane.
There's a massive lack of vision for Weibo on that bottom side though, which is why Dokla is
ちょっと
able to play
川
around
の
this
視界がないですよ。
jungle incredibly well.
And NRG,
視
they're
界
gonna
を
have to
取りに
keep track
行きにくい。
of Xiaohu. Xiaohu has the flash on the Nico available and the proto belt. That is the big
カサンテ
point
が
man
レネクトンを
for
発
Weibo
見した。
right now. They want him to start it out, and Weiwei would be able to follow up that fight for the big AoE combination.
ドクセンさんこんにちはです。WCS 見てます。ピン止めしてある URL のサイトで見てますよ。いや、視界取り返しに行くこともできず、先に触ったメインボーがドラゴン取りました。ドラゴン22。これバロンタワーでどうにかタワー取れないか。
Weibo still have such incredibly powerful engage. That's what NRG's got to be conscious of. That's what they got to look out for.
いや、こういう時ミニオンに注意しないといけない。いい子がミニオンに化けて飛んできますからね。
Yeah, NRG really have to respect the extra distance of the flashes here. Try and play that kite back team fight.
レルもフラッシュある。
No push on top, only having Dokla being able to push bot occasionally means that they weren't really able to establish themselves very quickly. So they do get mid lane here. That should be the last one though, as this Red Bull power play is about to end.
ここは下がりますか。ボットレーン、ボットのタワー行くかと思ったんですけど。
They land the snare onto Xiaohu. They respect the flash possibility. Contracts though, getting a little bit extra greedy here, trying to counter jungle everything.
Yeah, wants to get away from Xiaohu. He will manage his
escape.
But I do have to still say, we've been praising NRG. They had a very good Baron turnaround after a mistake, after Weibo punished them. But the reality is, they're still only a little bit over 2,000 gold ahead, and they're up against a team with much more capable team fight tools. Do not count Weibo out of this. One big fight, and this game gets slammed on its head.
And this is where I think you need to try and work together as NRG to establish the vision you need. Like, push mid as a group. Put the vision on bot side. Play for the bot side tier 2.
Try to
catch out on a play like again, that could be the play that comes back to bite you.
And although
じゃあずっとキャノンだけ食べるっていうのを繰り返していくのかな。
they do have a very
セナがキャノンだけ食べて、他はタムケンチが食べると。
with the Orianna, with the Senna, and with the Tahm Kench. Mainly the bottom half of their map. Those picks for the draft really meant to give them this security as long as they're able to track the enemy initiators and they don't fall prey to the giant AoE dream combo that
体も大きいしな。体が大きいということはたくさんの食べ物が必要ということですよ。
Initiation from Weibo that does get the Nico into the Rel combination, allow light to just blow them all up, is all that Weibo need.
And that's why NRG, you have to try and play for burning flashes on life, burning flashes on Xiaohu, preventing that opportunity to come through. Even things like the rapid fire cannon that's about to be completed for FBI is going to make that 10 times easier in the coming fights.
We're talking about completed items. Light has just completed his third one, the Bloodthirster online. This pretty much demands you must kill him instantly, or the Aphelios is
これ
going to
カサン
win
テ
this
が
fight.
とんでもない量の
For Weibo,
アーマ
there's
ー
a
ア
lot
イテム
of
買
pressure
って
on
るの
Light's
で、
shoulders.
オリア
There's
ナ
a
じゃ
lot
な
of
いと
pressure on everybody else to
ダメージ
protect
通ら
the
ないです
presence.
ね。
Make sure this guy is allowed the DPS, and you should be in a great spot to win a team
I
fight.
like how NRG are playing this slow though. It's, hey look, we
逆
want
に
to
オ
get
リアナの
mid
ダメー
wave
ジは
as a
結構
group.
通る。
Get it pushed underneath the enemy tower. As soon as we see Light and Crisp on mid wave, then we can start to establish that deep vision. But at the moment, you can see the second Weibo disappear off this mid wave. You have to back away because you're so vulnerable to that combo we were talking about.
Exactly. And from the side of Energy, if you're talking about DPS, there's about to be a death cap on Palafox. So they want to buy time for him to be able to get there.
Oh, FBI getting away from the shadow strike. Weibo tried to predict him running off to the left, but FBI just
セナの魂114。すごいですよこれは。そんなに魂集まるものなのか。
Doesn't pay off, but it does buy them control over the top side river. The Baron is respawning in under 10 seconds, and it's Weibo who are going to sweep out all this vision, have control, and force NRG to come check into them.
But that's the thing, when you're trying to take back this vision, that's the most dangerous point for NRG. Don't know where Xiaohu is. No vision on the rail. Flashes on both these. You can see Xiaohu trying to play off knowing that fact. Find these angles of attack for NRG, and immediately NRG have to see all the control they just got in pushing forward and getting that vision established on the top side. Contracts playing very far forward, knowing he does have that ultimate to get out if he needs it. Yep.
Heartbreaker, very, very powerful for being able to buffer through CCs even when they hit you. But now it's a very dark map in the top side of the river for Energy.
マリオ RPG リメイク、スーパーマリオ RPG のリメイクも出るし、ペーパーマリオ RPG のリメイクも出るって聞きましたよ。両方同じく神タイトルですから。任天堂スイッチをお持ちの方は購入の検討いかがでしょうか。バロンベイトです。オリアナはレルのエンゲージフラッシュで受けました。ニーコのウルトもこれも避けていく。ワニさんが連れてかれたステラックはありますよ。あるんですけど加算って強すぎ。ワニのフラッシュ。おザシャイ死亡。リオがミッドプッシュしている。ジャングラーたくさんミッドのレンミッドのミニを食べますね。あるのかこれ。オリアナウルトはないけどフリーディールですよ。立ち位置がオリアナの立ち位置うますぎる。いやオリアナが敵をかき乱してます。これがシャオフーに天才と言われたミッドレーナーパラフォックスのオリアナですか。大活躍してますよ。ダメージミリオ死ぬ。バロン取られたけど倒しきですかこれ。
Palafox only hits onto Weiwei and Weibo back and forth, fist fighting that whole time. Finally come out with purple fits on their hands.
Huge turn there for Weibo. They show no fear in such a tense situation. Into the back of the Baron pit, they grab it. The Shy went right at FBI. Takes down one of the most annoying champions, one of the biggest threats on the team. Let's take another look at it. Chris makes a big combo as he's cutting outside, but then FBI gets taken out because Light was also able to snipe with the green gun right
セナが加算点に捕まって何もできなかった。このチャンピオン削除した方がいいかもしれない。強すぎるって。カウンタープレーがない加算点。特にアイスボーン積まれたらもう逃げられるチャンピオンいないぞ。セナみたいなタイプのチャンピオンは特にですね。一回捕まったらもうおしまいだ。
Let's start to push in. Let's start to get the vision that we want. Let's make NRG play into the darkness and into our hands.
It is a dangerous, dangerous highway when Weibo is in the driver's seat. This composition is absolutely merciless when they get to play the team fight the way they want to play it. Immediately after the Baron, while we were watching the replay, they got the Drake. They're now on Soul Point. If they can manage to control the rift,
加算点はなぜか今回のパッチでバフをもらってとんでもないことになってるっぽいですな。対面してと思うんですけどちょっと強いですよこのチャンピオン。 今度練習します、カサンテ。でもセラも射程もかなり伸びてる。強いぞ。
The first inhibitor turret, they will not overforce and go after the inhibitor itself, instead rotating down to the bottom lane where the Shy already has the next.
いや、バロンの力でタワーがどんどん折られていってしまう。誰が止めて。バロンタワーでタワーが。インシビターも壊された。誰か。
WBG1 can still keep this pressure going. Contracts and the rest of energy. Are they even going to make a stand? Bottom lane inhibitor falls.
ちょっと NRG の構成ウェーブクリアがそんなに強くないか。
Have to try to hold this line, and it looks like they may be able to clear out the minions. Contract with the defensive ulti. Dokla loses Sterak.
エネクトのステラックなくなった。ミリオがついたアフェリオスがすごい強いですよ。
Wants to hit them like a truck. Can he get in here?
Contracts taking a lot of DPS. He's got to back away. The minion wave
いや難しい。難しいです。
But Weibo have done incredible damage to the base.
バロンの力でタワー3本、タワー3本、インヒビター2つ。
Weibo have done so much damage here. Now all they have to do is return to that top side.
このゲームこういう状況になったら逆転難しいんですよ。とても。
He's already got the makings of his armor penetration. Pretty soon it will transform.
もうタワー折られた側は視界取るのが大変で前に出られないから結局スーパーミニオンが先にプッシュしてきてスーパーミニオン処理してる間にもう一個のタワーも折られてジャンドラも全部視界取られますし。
You're going to win a front to back against this Aphelios. The dude's 5.5 items.
ひっくり返ってしまいましたわ。温度差が。
For energy to be in, and Weibo has managed to outfight the deficits they were at earlier on in the game to get to this point. We are now less than 2 minutes away from that soul fight at the Drake. And if Weibo are the ones to control the area, if Weibo are the ones to dare energy to come answer them, I have to think that energy is going to have a hard time doing it.
Yeah, because energy, they have to deal with 2 waves of super minions and no wards through their
あんまりないからセーフか。あんまり差はなかったからセーフ。
Little bit of damage there onto Weiwei. Uses the crash down to get himself away from it, so Energy don't really have a real shot at making any meaningful pick there. Under a minute and a half now until the Drake. Weibo just putting pressure on that last remaining lane that isn't already being suffocated by the super minions.
そうなんですよ。こうやってミニオン押し込まれちゃうので、集団戦で勝ったところでゲームエンドまでいけないんですよ。押し込まれてる側は。ミニオンがないからミニオンを押し返すのに時間がかかってその間に敵が復活してしまうので逆転が難しいです。本当に試合時間が長引いて敵のデスタイマーがすごく長くなれば話は別なんですけど難しい難しい。お互いのスキルがうまく入るかどうかで全部ひっくり返りそう。スキル当てた方が勝つ。どうでしょうか。特にオリアナとニーコそしてネルこの3体のスキル当てた方が勝つ。どうでしょう。
And the Shy's itemization is beautiful. He's just stacking pure armor. He knows the only AP threat is the Orianna. And if Orianna's trying to burst down Cassante, there's not enough damage threat onto the rest of Weibo to actually win energy a fight. The Shy is a monster. When he walks you, you have no choice but to back away. Light's gonna be found and stunned up by Dokla, but Light just wins these. He pops the Dokla just hard loses the Shy, not in anywhere near as bad as Shay after he goes in and trades the other team.
なくなっちゃったしミリオとブラッドサースターでアフリオス硬すぎる。いやバロン渡してドラゴンやりますけどこれ れゲーム終わっちゃうぞ。これゲーム終わっちゃうぞ。帰れるか。名武処理できません。誰かバロンバフスターミニは処理できないんですわ。誰か助けてくれ。誰かニコのウルト全員に入っちゃった。アフロスが危険で無限に回復していく。あいよジジン。いや途中1個バロン取ったところでカバー3分にしびた2つ取って一気にレイボー有利になっちゃったな。
Yeah, I think you need to try and get something going for yourself there, but it's not really going to be an option here for NRG.